Today we're going to be focused on multiplying and dividing fractions. I'm going to divide this into two parts. So this first video will focus on multiplying fractions, and then the next video will focus on dividing fractions. So multiplying fractions is so much easier than adding and subtracting. You do not get a common denominator. You just multiply straight across and then reduce at the end. So for part A, it says 4/9 times 7/4. That dot just means times. So that means 4 times 7 in your numerator, 9 times 4 in your denominator. 4 times 7 is 28. 9 times 4 is 36. I can divide both of these by 4 to reduce it. And 28 divided by 4 is 7. 36 divided by 4 is 9. So the answer is 7/9. You could do this a different way. Sometimes you can do what's called cross-reducing. And that's when you look diagonally and see if you can reduce any diagonally. So if I look at 4 and 4, I can divide 4 and 4 both by 4 to get 1 and 1. 7 and 9 cannot be reduced. So then once I'm done with that, now I can multiply 1 times 7, 7. 9 times 1, 9. I get the same answer. So some people like to do it that way because they like dealing with smaller numbers. If you don't like it that way, just do it the old-fashioned way. Multiply your numerators, multiply your denominators, reduce at the end. Moving on to part B on the next page. We have -5/4 times 1/3. So -5 times 1 in your numerator, 4 times 3 in your denominator. -5 times 1 is -5. 4 times 3 is 12, and that cannot be reduced, so we're done. For C, I have a whole number. When I have a whole number, I just put -2 over 1, so I always want it to be a fraction. So I have -2 over 1 times 3 over 7. -2 times 3 is -6. 1 times 7 is 7, so -6/7. For part D, I want to turn this into an improper fraction first. So 5 times 2 is 10, plus 1 is 11, so -11 over 5. Times 4 times 1 is 4, plus 3 is 7, -7 over 4. -11 times -7 is 77. 5 times 4 is 20. And we don't want to leave our answer as an improper fraction. So 20 goes into 77 3 times. 20 times 3 is 60. 77 minus 60 is 17, so that's my numerator. Keep the denominator. So 3 and 17 over 20. If you forget how to do that, remember it's just long division. You do 77 on the inside, 20 on the outside, and 20 goes into 77 3 times. Subtract to get 17. Your remainder is the numerator, the number you divided by denominator. So if you need to work that out with long division, that's perfectly fine. Part E, we have mixed numbers again, so turn them into improper fractions. 7 times 1 is 7, plus 5 is 12 over 7. Times 2 times 2 is 4, plus 1 is 5, so -5 over 2. 12 times -5 is -60. 7 times 2 is 14. This can be reduced. I can divide both numbers by 2 to get -30 over 7. 7 goes into 30 4 times. 7 times 4 is 28. 30 minus 28 is 2 over 7. I had a negative, so keep it negative. Part A, we have algebraic expressions. So it says evaluate -3a. That just means -3 times a. So we have -3 times -1/2, since a was -1/2. So that's -3 over 1 times -1 over 2. -3 times -1 is a positive 3. 1 times 2 is 2. 2 goes into 3 once with the remainder of 1 over 2. So 1.5. Part B, I have three fractions, 1/3 times x times y. So 1/3 times x, which is 2/5, times y, which is -4, so that's -4 over 1. You can multiply all three of these at the same time. I prefer to do 2 at a time, just so I can make sure my signs are correct. 1 times 2 is 2. 3 times 5 is 15. Bring down my times -4 over 1. 2 times -4 is -8. 15 times 1 is 15, and that cannot be reduced. So that's your multiplication section. I'm about to do the division section in the next video.